Hi, we're back. So, you'll notice that when plucking a grouse, they have very thin skin. And in this case, because of the shot placement, it was actually a pretty good shot on the wing. You're going to damage the skin anyway. So you can skin it or you can leave it on. In this case, some of the feathers were coming off hard on the leg, so we could skin. We go either way, it doesn't matter. The rest of it is intact. I leave the tips on because we're just going to cut these off. Just take a nice sharp knife, find the joint, and oops. So you don't have to worry about that. Same thing we're going to do with the legs right here. Bend it forward a little bit, take a nice sharp knife, and come right up through there. Same thing in the front. Find the ligament and come up and high. And we're going to toss that. We have not gutted it yet. I do kind of save that for the last because I like to get all the feathers out of the way. At this point, we're going to go ahead and remove most of the neck. This is not for the squeamish. So if you're somebody watching this because you're against hunting, just don't watch it. And don't leave comments like, "Oh, that was all fake." Yes, we know the beginning of the video was a little far-fetched. Okay. Just that being said, all right. Right over here, you have the craw or the crop, called both things, and this contains the first part of the area where the food goes. In this case, it's seed. You can actually see where it's been feeding. It's good. Helps you with scouting for further hunting. In this case, it's it looks like little bits of seeds and branch down in the lower lying ground areas. Just take my third hand there and you can pull this out. You actually take the skin of this and you can pull it right out. Oops. Slippery. This whole area will come right out.
Smells like birch.
Yeah, it's a hardwood. And we'll go ahead and take this. We'll rinse it off.
Now, while he's rinsing that off, I would like to point out that what you're looking at here is pieces of branches. There's actually buds to a birch tree. I don't know how well you can see this here. It won't focus. That's just the bud of a birch tree, and there are some seeds here.
Certain times of year you'll find insects, you'll find berries. They like the little wintergreen berries. You'll find them eating those. Okay, that being cleaned out, you can go ahead and remove the insides. You go over here near the vent. That's what they call that, the vent. I don't have a very small knife to work with, so you cut. Being very careful not to cut yourself, first and foremost.
Or your cameraman.
Or the cameraman. But also, to be careful not to puncture any of the organs, as they can contain nasty tasting and smelling stuff that you don't want to get in the meat. And sometimes during you're shooting a winged bird in flight, going very, very fast. Sometimes you get the shot that you get. So sometimes you do have injuries to this area. In this case, no abdominal problems, so that comes out nice and clean. And then you follow it down to the vent. Careful not to get any of the contents on you, on the meat.
Now there is something that's going on here that the video is not telling you, and that is the smell.
Yes. It's not for the squeamish. Any anatomy and physiology aficionados out there, this is the liver. We do like to keep the liver. We haven't gotten to the heart yet. This is the gizzard. For those of you who want to know how to process a gizzard, you remove it from the viscera all around this area. Discard the bowel. Gizzard's a very interesting little organ. It actually contains seeds and grit, whereby when the food is introduced to it, this is a very powerful muscle, and it actually cuts that food and grinds it. That's why you see birds eating seeds. They don't have teeth like we do. Well, in the cartoons they do. If you open it up, you look, and you can see partially eaten food. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel just the lining of this out. It comes apart in two separate sections. I don't know the anatomical names for this. I'm not an animal nurse, I'm a people nurse, so we'll put this right here. Moving up further into the cavity, move, looks like a kidney, piece of the diaphragm, and after I've got that, you've got the heart. And just back here, if you want to scrape the back in here, you have the lungs on either side of the spinal column, and in this case they've been damaged, as have been the bones surrounding them, which make for little needles. So
yes, it's very sharp inside of there, so be careful.
Yes. So being careful to rinse it out, make sure any intestinal contents have been removed. You can rinse that out, pull off any last minute little feathers, which you'll have in the meat anyway from when the shot passes through. This is actually shot at about 35 yards going to my right. So you can see the pattern of the shot. It was actually a pretty good shot.
Now you can also see that it's a relatively clean process, though there is a smell. It's not as bad as you may imagine it would be. You do want to.
The smell does go away once you get the junk out of there, and we'll put the liver aside in this. And some people want the heart. It's kind of small. We'll just get rid of that. And there, you have it field dressed or dressed out, ready for processing as you wish.
And here is your finished product.
Some people cut it right down the middle and butterfly it to cook it. That's another section altogether, cooking it. There's so many different recipes. But that's it for right now. Thank you very much.